You ever notice how the thing people try to hide is usually the most interesting thing about them? Scar, limp, crooked tooth, a voice that doesn't quite land where it's supposed to. People spend years trying to erase it. And I'm sitting there thinking, that's the character, that's the whole character. See, we've been trained to think in terms of fix your posture, fix your weight, fix your face, fix your voice, like you're a rough draft of a person, like you're not ready to be seen yet. But storytelling doesn't work like that. Nobody watches a movie about a perfect person. Nobody leans in because someone is symmetrical. They lean in because something feels real. You don't remember the flawless face. You remember the face that tells you something happened. A scar isn't just a mark, it's evidence. Something happened here, that's not a flaw. That's a breadcrumb. Actors understand this, but even actors fight it. I don't like my nose on camera. My voice sounds weird. Yeah, that's why we believe you. Real people aren't polished. Real people are slightly off. And that off, that's what makes them specific. You ever meet someone who's technically attractive, but there's nothing to hold on to? No edges, no friction, no story. They don't stay in your mind, but someone with presence, you feel them. Even if you don't know why, most of the time, what you're feeling, that's the shift. The moment you stop treating it like damage, it stops reading like damage. It starts reading like identity. And identity is magnetic. You don't have to explain it, you just have to stop hiding it. Because people aren't looking for perfection. They're looking for truth. And truth is never clean. So the question isn't, what do I fix? The question is, what happened to me that I've been trying to hide? Because whatever that is, that's the story. And the moment you stop covering it up is the moment people finally start seeing you. Your body is not random. That's the first thing people don't understand. The way you stand, the way you sit, the way you walk into a room. That didn't just happen. That's learned. That's adaptation. That's survival. You ever see someone slightly hunched, like they're trying to take up less space? That's not posture. That's history. That's years of learning. Don't be too much. Or the opposite. Someone who walks in big, chest out, shoulders wide, that's not always confidence. Sometimes that's defense. The body remembers what the mind tries to forget, and we label those things as imperfections: too stiff, too loose, too big, too small. But those are responses. Your body solved problems for you before you had language, and now you're trying to correct it like it made a mistake. It did it. It adapted. Think about scars. A scar is your body saying, I had to repair something here, and it didn't restore it to original. It reinforced it, different texture, different look, stronger. And we look at that and call it ugly. That's backwards. That's resilience you can see. But we live in a culture that says, if it doesn't look untouched, it's less valuable. That's not how life works. The people who've never been touched by anything, they're not more complete. They're just untested. And untested doesn't create depth. Tested does. So when you walk into a room, your body is already speaking before you say a word. It's telling people where you've been, what you've carried, what you're protecting. And the mistake people make is trying to silence that language, trying to neutralize themselves. But neutral is forgettable. Specific is memorable. So instead of asking, how do I fix how I look? Ask, what has my body been trying to tell me? Because once you understand that, you stop fighting it. And when you stop fighting it, you start using it. And when you start using it, people feel it. Not because you explained it, because it's real. Your body isn't the problem, it's the proof. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't want to be interesting. They want to be acceptable. And those are not the same thing. Acceptable is safe. Acceptable blends in. Acceptable gets approval. But interesting stands out. Interesting risks rejection. Interesting makes people feel something. And people will trade being interesting for being accepted. Every time, they'll shrink. They'll adjust. They'll smooth themselves out until there's nothing left to react to. And then they wonder why nobody sees them. In acting, you see it all the time. People come in trying to be right. Clean choices, safe choices, approved choices, and they disappear. But the person who comes in with something specific, you can't ignore them, even if they're not perfect, especially if they're not, because perfection doesn't create tension, and tension holds attention. That slight imbalance, that unexpected rhythm, that thing you didn't polish out, that's what makes people lean in. And this isn't just acting, this is life. People don't connect to your perfection. They connect to your humanity. And humanity is messy. It has texture, contradictions, inconsistencies, and your imperfections. That's where all of that lives. So when you try to remove them, you're not improving yourself. You're flattening yourself. You're turning a three-dimensional person into something easier to accept and harder to remember. So shift the question. Stop asking, how do I look better? Start asking, how do I become more specific? Because specificity creates identity. Identity creates presence. And presence is what people respond to, not perfection. Never perfection. Because perfection exists in presentation, not in real life. And people can feel the difference. So the goal isn't to remove your imperfections. The goal is to understand them well enough that they become intentional, that they become part of how you show up, not something you apologize for, something you own. Because once you own it, no one can use it against you. And more importantly, people lean in, not because you're flawless, because you're real. Perfection makes you invisible. Character makes you unforgettable.